involves extending help on ArcGIS desktop, ArcGIS online and mobile applications to the commercial and government sectors. She is an ISRI desktop certified trainer with 5 years of experience in delivering trainings on ISRI products. For the duration of presentation, all participants' line will be in listen-only mode. We also have a panel of ISRI India experts on call to answer any queries you may have. We will have a Q&A session post the presentation. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you may also send them across to all panelists using the chat window on the right side of your console. In view of COVID-19 lockdown, our teams are hosting this webinar from their home environments. We have planned this event to ensure minimal disruptions to the service during the event for your seamless experience. In case we face any unexpected disruptions, please be patient and we would take necessary steps to restore the service. So now, without further delay, I would like to now hand over the proceedings to Ms. Neha from ISRI India. Ms. Neha, welcome to the program. You're now ready to begin.
Thanks, Rudra. So, hi everyone. This is Neha. Very good morning to all of you. First of all, I hope that you and your family is safe and healthy at your respective places. So, today I'm here to deliver a session on RGIS field operations overview. Thanks for taking out your precious time in joining this session. Let's talk about the agenda first, which involves the brief product description, followed by key dependencies to implement this solution. We will be also showcasing the demonstration for all the field apps. I will be telling you about the licensing need for these apps, followed by a summary of the entire demonstration, and at last, the QA session. So, our mission statement for the field operations group is to digitally enable mobile workflows with location so that the field work can be completed faster and more efficiently. Now, there are different phases of fieldwork, and we have apps for both web and mobile. Starting on the left, that's all the office based scenario, and moving to the right, those are all the field based activities. All of it being tied together in the middle by the RGIS platform. And all of these things, they are communicating back and forth in RGIS. So let's start with planning. So before we even go out and start doing the field work, we usually want to plan our work. What work we are going to do. So we have apps that can help you use location and geography. If your work is going on, say in one area of the city, and then other work is going on in the same city but some other area, officers might not want to send the same crew to both of them. Officers might want to send different crews to optimize and make efficient use of their time. So we have app which can help you assign the work properly. Once the work has been assigned, we will move to the navigate phase of the field operations. And we have apps that can help you navigate or help the user navigate right to the location of their assigned work in a very optimized way. Once you are out in the field and you want to understand what's around you, which we call as situational awareness, our apps can help you do that. In most usage of RGIS in the field is the capture phase of the work. And we have number of apps that help you capture information in various ways, be it map based, be it form based, or capture things quickly without much GIS knowledge. Now, while all the people are out in the field doing work, people in the office would want to see the bigger picture, that what's going on, what's completed, what's still left. So our technology helps you do that as well. Now, sitting in between the monitoring and the planning phase is the coordinate phase, and it happens right after the crew members are already in the field. So you can coordinate with them and can know where they are. Now let's quickly see how can we map our existing technologies and our existing apps to these phases of field work. And it is going to help us bridge the gap. So when you are planning the work, it's going to be workforce for ArcGIS. When it's navigating, it's going to be navigator for ArcGIS. The situational awareness understanding, like keeping the maps with you, it's going to be Explorer for ArcGIS. The capture phase is going to be the map-based collector for ArcGIS. Form-based would be Survey 123 for ArcGIS. And simple big button easy data capture experience would be the quick capture. Coming to the monitoring phase, if you want to see where people have been and are, it's Tracker for ArcGIS. We have another awesome app called ArcGIS Dashboard, which right now you must be seeing in various COVID cases because it pairs well with the field operation workflows and shows you the clear picture. Now, on the coordinate phase, it's going to be the combination of either Workforce, Tracker, or Explorer for ArcGIS. So this is the high-level overview of Field Operations suite of apps. And next, we are going to look into each app individually, followed by the demo. So let me pick up the first app, which is Collector for ArcGIS, basically for data capturing. Now, using this app, field crews can capture new data and they can update the existing GIS features in the field, even when they are disconnected. It replaces outdated paper-based data collection processes with technology that enables your field workforce to easily return the reliable, secondly detailed, and then current data from the field to the office. Collector makes it easy for field workers of all experience levels, say from beginner to advanced, to fill their maps with highly accurate data. For any assets, countless details can be documented with photos, with audio recordings, and that goes right into your organization GIS. The key thing about Collector is that it can be integrated with high accuracy receivers. So if you want to get the accuracy down to the centimeter level, you can pair that high accuracy receiver with your mobile device and then get the details into it. Now, this Collector for ArcGIS is available on Windows, App Store, and Google Play. That means it's available for Android. Talking about the credit consumption for Collector, yes, it does consumes the credit only when we are adding features, and that consumes the feature storage credits. When we are adding the photo attachments to the feature, it consumes file storage credits. Now, let's talk about another app, which is Survey123. Again, it's a data capturing app, but this is slightly different because it's a form centric app. This is very simple and an intuitive form centric solution for creating, sharing, and analyzing surveys in just 3 easy steps. Let's see what's the first. We can create the smart forms using skip logics, defaults. It can support multiple languages and even much more. Secondly, we can collect the data easily through the web or mobile devices in an environment with very or no training, with very basic or absolutely no training. We can analyze the results quickly to make the actionable decisions after receiving this data. So you see that this is fully integrated with ArcGIS platform, and you can gather data using your computer or any mobile devices in the field even when disconnected, and then securely upload it to the ArcGIS for further analysis. Now, it works on phones, tablets, that is Android, iOS, Windows, and as well as on desktop, which is Mac, Linux, and Windows. Same like Collector for ArcGIS. If I have to talk about the credit consumption, when we add features, it consumes feature storage credits. And when we add photos to the features, it consumes the file storage credits. So now let's talk about another app, which is Workforce for ArcGIS, which came right at the planning stage. So from here, we assign the work to different workers. So what is it? Workforce for ArcGIS is a mobile solution that uses the power of location-based decision making for better field workforce coordination and teamwork. It's composed of a web app, which is used by the project administrators and dispatchers in the office, and a mobile app, which is used by the mobile workers on the devices. So, how can the organizations benefit by using Workforce? They can definitely benefit by having their mobile workers view and process the work assignment, provide their updates on work status, and inform others of their location, all from one device. The officers can use this real-time location-based informations coming in, and dispatchers can then assign and prioritize the field work on the fly. This is definitely replacing this time-consuming, error-prone manual workforce management. So Workforce, for example, can be used for service request, maintenance, repair activities, or one call tickets. This app is available on iOS and Android. Now, Workforce is available only in online mode today and it requires internet connection. There is no credit consumption absolutely for this application. Now, talking about another app which helps us in the navigation phase is a turn by turn voice guided navigation app, Navigator for ArcGIS. It is a mobile app that gets your field workers uh, where it needs to be, where they need to go. And that way they are unlocking the efficiency gains and improving their reliability. This is completely integrated with ArcGIS platform. And Navigator for ArcGIS works offline also with seamless integration with other field apps of ArcGIS. The field staff can actually search, they can navigate directly to their own organization assets, even if those assets are off the commercial street network. It uses the global data provided or your own custom data. So navigation helps when even we are offline. It has the ability to use your own maps in your asset inventory. It has the ability to traverse the pre-planned routes. Navigator is available on Android. Navigator is available on Android, yeah, and iOS devices. So again, talking about the credit consumption, there is no credit consumption for Navigator for ArcGIS. Now, let's see the situational awareness app which we spoke about in the phases of fieldwork. Explorer for ArcGIS. This is a mobile app that allows you to have 24/7 access to your custom maps from your smartphone and tablets. What can you do? You can take these searchable maps into the field with you and have your organization assets on it, and you can make the discoveries even when you're disconnected. So let me mention that it's not at all a data editing app, but you can still make a quick note over it using the markup on the map, which we will see in the demo, and then send it back to the office. So you can use the included markup tools which are right in the map, and you can easily communicate your ideas and share it with the others in the office or even the other workers. Now, Explorer for ArcGIS requires minimum training to use, making it the premium, on the go option for taking maps to the field. Now, it is the benefit of it, I feel, is over a simple static PDF is that we are going to have the access over the asset information and dynamically. Now, this app is available on Windows, iOS, and Android. So this web map, it gets configured into the Explorer for ArcGIS, and you can get updates even in the real time, showing the real time status of the features or the assets as they move around in the map. But you need to stay connected to the internet. Now, let's talk about something which um, shows the comparison between Survey 123, Collector, and Geoform. So I haven't mentioned about Geoform yet, and that is yet another way of Survey 123, but can be used only when you have internet access. So Survey 123 is a form-centric app, and Collector is a map-centric app. Let's be very clear. Geoform is also a form-centric way. The new data can be captured in all the three ways, and the editing of the existing data will only happen in Survey 123, Collector, but not in Geoform. The XLS support, the Microsoft Excel sheet support, the smart form is only available for Survey 123, not for Collector and not for Geoform. What about offline? So Survey 123 works offline, Collector for ArcGIS works offline, but Geoform does not. External receiver support for high accuracy is there for Survey 123, is there for Collector, not for Geoform. Now there's another device called Spike, which is a laser range finding device. It helps us get the length, the direction, the area of some distant feature. Now that device can be integrated with Survey 123, but not with Collector or Geoform. Talking about anonymous access, which actually makes the app available for crowdsourcing, citizen mapping. Survey 123 supports that. Collector does not support it, and Geoform supports it. We have already spoken about the platform Survey123 collectors are supported on. Geoform, let me mention, is only supported on web browsers. The developer opportunities are there for Survey123 and Geoform, but not for the collector. Now, let's talk about our another new app, which is ArcGIS Quick Capture. It is one of the application for data capturing, but how does it make it different from the rest? That it is the fastest way to collect the field operation. With this simple app, you can record the GIS points and other attributes while you scout the locations, while you conduct some aerial surveys, while you assess the damage from a moving vehicle. This helps you send the data back to the office to be analyzed in real time and eliminate time spent manual on manual processing or handwritten notes. So ArcGIS Quick Capture is integrated with ArcGIS. So new observation from the field, they can be used instantly for better decision making. And this captures the data at speed with just the touch of a button. This particular application is available on Windows, on Android, and on iOS. It does not consume any credit. My bad. It does consume credit just like Collector and Survey123 for storing the devices, for storing the features, or for storing the photos which are attached to the features. In the same way as Collector and Survey123 does. Now, nowadays, or in fact, every time, location matters. So we can know the real-time location of your most valued assets of your mobile workers through an easily deployed and easy to use app, which is Tracker for ArcGIS. Using this mobile app, the location tracks of your workers are effortlessly captured. They're recorded and they are also fed in ArcGIS. Location tracks can be visualized through ArcGIS to support that effective allocation of somebody to the service needs. And it also can quickly adjust to the changing condition. So using this location track analysis, it will help us to identify where work was performed, when was it performed, where the productivity is being gained or lost in the field. So Workforce for ArcGIS does provide that monitoring capabilities, but you cannot get the tracks. Tracker for ArcGIS consumes the ISRI location tracking service. It does work in an offline environment. However, if you want to see the real-time progress, let me mention that you need to be connected to the internet. It does not consume any credit, and this is available on iOS and Android. So let's talk about some of the app integration and some basic pairings. You can do really a lot of things by pairing these apps, and there are a number of workflows which you can accomplish. Let me mention that you do not have to use every single one of the application here. These are some common pairing of the apps, as I mentioned. So let us see the one mentioned in the middle, which is a workforce launchpad. You can see where you have workforce and it launches you directly in the navigator for ArcGIS to get you where you need to go. And then launches collector for ArcGIS to do the data capture or Survey123 to do the survey. Another pairing is between Explorer to Survey123, where you would use the Explorer to see the assets or things that need to be surveyed around you, and then you launch Survey123 to fill the survey. Another pairing is that third-party integration. Now this is the ability to use your own custom application, your own custom mobile apps, and you can build in that same linking back and forth capability like we build our apps to work well together using the URL scheming technology. Now let us switch towards the demo and see how these can be well integrated. Now, here if you see, this is the Workforce for ArcGIS webpage. Workforce can be opened only from the web browser. I have logged in, and now we can see that there are various project scenarios. Let me click on Quarantine Center Survey Project Configure. And now by opening this configure button on the project, I see, let me click on the configure button of the workforce. I see here that there are 4 tabs: assignment types, user types, and there are advanced settings and overview. So in advanced settings, we can actually do the integration with the other apps like Navigator, Survey123, Explorer, and Corrector. As of now, only these 4 apps can be integrated within Workforce. Navigator comes by default, whereas Collector, Explorer, and Survey123, we need to configure it along with your web layers. Coming to the users. Now here are some of my organization members. You can see them in the list. Now, if I hover over some of my field member, I get the option of add details. And that's the way you can add phone number and their designation in here. And we will see how does it help. Now, if I see the if I click on assignment types, here are some couple of assignments using which I'm going to do the or assign the task. Now, let's go and open the worker map for workforce. This way, if I click on the assignment tab, yes, if I see the worker map for my workforce, I can see the live location of my crew members. There are 3 layers on the left side, which is worker, assignment, and location tracking. And by clicking on the worker, I can see their details in the pop-up. Now, if I enable the location tracking in the layer, I'll be able to see the live location of my workers. At the bottom, you see the time slider, and you can get an idea where the user, where the user was while he or she was doing the data capture or field activity. Let me zoom to one of my worker, my colleague, and I can see so if the worker is there, I can see their location with these green dots, which clearly represents that where they were on which dates. So this gives us the timestamp. Now, let's see the project page through which we can assign the task to the crew members. This is my page where I can assign the task. So for now, I'm going to assign one task to another colleague, Neha. And for the quarantine center survey, you can see I can give the assignment type. For the location, I can either click on the map or I can search for the address under the location. Now I can assign it to any member who is, you can see if they are working, if they're not working, or they are on break. Let me assign it to Neha. And I can give the priority as critical, some due date, a defined deadline for this activity, and a time for it. I can also add ID and description and attach some kind of manual in here for the help to the crew member. And then I can create this assignment. So once this assignment is made, I can first go back to the assignment in this page itself. Okay, I can go back. Yeah, now I can see that there is a worker list next to the assignment. And there is the mobile mentioned in front of the crew member name. If I click, I can get in touch with the crew member. Crew can get back, get in touch with the dispatcher. Now let's go to the mobile app and open the workforce from there. So let's open workforce for ArcGIS through this. And we will see that there is a list of assignment. And the one which is on the critical priority, let me pick that assignment as a crew member. Now this is how the assignment looks like. I can see it is assigned by whom, I have the ability to take the photos. I have the ability to set my own status. Now, let me see if I click on the assigned by, that is my dispatcher, it gives me an option to call or drop a message. It may happen that you need to contact your dispatcher or the project owner. Now, let's go back. And now on the top, we can see that there is a navigate to assignment option. Let's see a quick video on Navigator for ArcGIS. Let me see that this is the Navigator for ArcGIS on your mobile app. And you see that there are some apps which are in current on device available to download. The maps which has this orange sign on the map, they are the ISRI provided app maps, and the one which do not have the orange sign, they are one provided by the or uploaded by the user. Now, if the person takes or download it, he or she can use it in an offline mode. You can see it that if I'm going completely offline, I'm still able to see my existing map. You can ingest your base map inside of Navigator as a mobile map package. You can ingest the pre-planned routes also. Now, if you see that I can search for the location. I can route to the destination by simply searching an address or pointing on the map. This is the route which it creates. I can stop and resume my work by adding more stops. Now, this has several travel modes, which is enabled by ISRI, like walking, um, for trucks, for cars. So this is a short introduction about Navigator for ArcGIS. You can see the travel tracks here. Coming back to the workforce for ArcGIS. Now from here, I can get to know or get the situational awareness through the web maps. It will give me an idea. So let me click on Explore at assignment option, which will launch an explorer for ArcGIS. Let me mention the credentials are not passed on from the app. We need to individually sign in all the applications. So now this opens the explorer for ArcGIS. It shows me that there are some surveys which are done in the nearby area. So this is giving me an awareness. If I click on it, I can get to know who did it. If I find that it is wrong, I can click on the markup and I can draw a small, probably I can draw a small circle and send it back to my office. Now, once I send it back, they have the chance to correct it. So now let's go back to the workforce for ArcGIS for finally the data capture. Okay, sorry for the internet lag. Now let me go back to workforce for ArcGIS mobile app. And now I can start with the data capture by clicking on survey at assignment option. The moment I click on survey at assignment option, it launches survey 123 mobile app, which is inside my device. And it introduces me to the entire list of questions about quarantine center survey. Now I can quickly fill in the district name, the block name. I can fill in the notes also very easily by clicking on speech to text within your mobile keyboard. So you can avoid typing and you can probably take the details from just speech to text. So that is one advantage. Now, if I go further to the other details, like how many people are there, how many number of beds are there, uh, I can give the name of the surveyor. And if you see that there are some questions which are made mandate, so those are the required field without which I cannot submit the survey. I see that there is a map question also. So that is capturing quickly from the device, or either I can pinpoint on the map. Now I have an option to submit it either now, or if I'm disconnected, I have the option to submit it later. And this is how I'm just capturing a photo since it is a required field. So let me send this information now since I am having the internet connection. And now, after I send it now, how an officer sitting in the office can actually get this data. So let's get back to the browser and go to Survey 123 webpage, which is the heart of Survey 123. Now this page enables officers to sit in the office and see the data coming in real time and do the analysis over it or create. So let me click on my uh, survey, which is COVID-19 quarantine survey. And this opens up again a web page, which shows me the live data coming in here and the attributes of it. I can create the report from here. I can download the data from here as a shapefile or a feature class. And now we can also set the survey status. We will see it in collaborate mode that we can also set the status for multiple submissions, or the survey status as either it should be open or closed, or if I want to schedule it between some time, I can do that as well. So as I mentioned, that we can create the form through two ways. One was Survey 123 Connect and one is Survey 123 Web Designer. So let me go to Survey 123 Connect, which is a desktop application. This is Survey 123 Connect. And now if you see, I have opened the same form, the list of questions which you saw in the mobile app. How is it made? So on the left side, if you see, there is an XLS form. If I click on it, it opens the Microsoft Excel and opens all the forms within it. Now this has survey choices setting types. Now survey is which defines the survey questions. Choices, these are the support survey questions with choices options. These are the one which appears in the drop down. Now coming to the settings, these are something which define the form title and specify the optional parameters or properties. And coming to types, these are the supported field types and question parameters. Now, after having set these questions in place, we can publish the survey through Survey 123 Connect publish button. And then it starts appearing in both Survey 123 Connect and the Survey 123 web page. Now, let's see other way of creating the survey through Survey 123 Web Designer. If you see, this is a form of favorite tourist place. Now, this is a very simple and intuitive way of creating the survey. We can have single questions, multiple question, photos, geopoint. As you see, these are all there by simply dragging, dropping the questions in the left hand side. And then configuring the questions. Now we can have set rule. That means based on the first question, if you want to ask another question, we can have that. However, for advanced settings like constraints, relevant, read only type, please create form using the Survey 123 Connect. Now the advantage of Survey 123 website authoring tool is the ease of use, right? We don't need any training. We can just pull in the questions and get started. Now there is one more way which we mentioned, which is GeoForm. This, let's open a GeoForm, and this GeoForm appears to anybody by having shared that link of that survey. These have the same questions which we otherwise see it in a mobile app, and this particular sharing link, we can get it from the sharing tab of the sharing Survey 123 web page. Let's see from where do we get the link, and click on our Survey 123 web page share button. Yes, that's how we get the link, and we also get the QR code if somebody wants. Now, this is a one way that which is called Geoform, but you need to have it open in a web browser and you need internet. Now, let's jump to another data capturing application, which is Collector for ArcGIS. So we also have the project for it in the workforce, and we can pick the assignment. But for now, we are directly opening the app in the Windows. It is a Windows application. So in the interest of time, this is already open for you. Now, this is an example of utility customer who wants to do an asset mapping. It is just one scenario. You can use it for various purposes. So now you can see on the left hand side the feature templates available like bridges, substations, switches, primary, secondary. I can directly select the feature template like transformer here, and I can click on any of the feature, say bridge, and start adding the data. So it can take my current location, or it can we can pinpoint on the map, or we can use it through the external receiver, which can give us the centimeter accuracy. Now you saw very clearly this app launches map first. So this is a map centric app. We can fill in these details like substation symbol, the item type, the source code, X and Y angle, and all this information, and have the attachment like photos or voice recordings. And then I have an option to submit this right away. Now, after we submit the data, I can see the same data in the ArcGIS online web map. Let's go to ArcGIS online web map. So this is our electric 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 distribution web map. And you can see, so now let's see it in the web browser. Now we can see that the same data has been captured and come here in the web map. This way the officer can get all the information from the field. We can also have user use the pre-planned areas if they are going for offline use, and user can also download on the demand area for their activity. Now, when offline, you can sync the data later. In the Windows application, when we are collecting the data, we have options to collect point, line, and polygon. So while we are collecting the line, we can collect it by adding the stops and moving across that feature, along that feature, or otherwise I can start this option which is on the top, start streaming, and that way any irregular surface can also be captured without adding any further stops, and the same can be submitted and further downloaded in ArcGIS. Now let's move to our next field app, which is Quick Capture. This is launched from the app launcher of ArcGIS Online, and an administrator can create the project within Quick Captures. Here is the scenario for debris report. So local government wants to do a survey for reporting debris. The feature service which is consumed in it can be created from ArcGIS Pro or ArcGIS Online. Now, if I click on construction and demolition, I have various options on the right hand side. Say appearance, I can change the image, I can change the size, shape. Coming to the data, I have the option to bring it in the single mode or take the photos. Since it is a big button, single button app, I can hide the camera preview so that nobody opens the camera, but still the data gets captured. Now, let's go back to the field app of Quick Capture and see how can we capture the data. Now, this is my Quick Capture in the mobile application. If I see there is a construction demolition same project, let me click on it, and that is capturing the data as soon as I click on the button. If I point out it towards the feature and keep clicking, it is going to capture my data. Now, with just one click, we can submit the features which we can see, and if the camera preview is enabled, then it will open the cam and take the picture. Otherwise, it will just click at the background, and it works online and offline both. Now, let me take a picture from here. And that gets saved and goes. And I can send it if I am in the range, or otherwise it gets stored on my device and can be sent later. Now let's go to our another new app, which is called Tracker for ArcGIS mobile app. So scenario is that if you want to inspect or say do some kind of audit for the crew members, you can see their live location, you can see their past tracks, you can get the user's location. Now, right now, you can see my colleague Prashant. He was in field and he enabled the track my location option. That means it is totally, we definitely look into the privacy of the user and we don't violate that. If user wants, he can share his location. If not, he can just turn it off. If he's switching it on in the background, it will keep capturing the data. Now, these are some settings. I can schedule the capture between certain time. I can update the last known location for either 30 seconds or 60 seconds. And this smart rendering will help me avoid noise and collects the high quality data. I can upload it now. Now, if I go back to my officer position, say I am a decision maker and I see the track viewer in my office, I can create the track views from here. This is how Prashant could use it. And now let me see all of my workers in the track viewer. So if you see that I have these many workers out there, and I can particularly see Prashant's track by zooming in and setting up the time, like from which to which date I want to see. Let me see it from. So if you see, these are some of the tracks by Prashant when he switched on the location in his mobile. And I can see if I click on the point, what was his speed, what was the direction, what was his battery status at that time. Now, coming to some of the settings here, I can also set it between the current time span. I can also go back to the activity. Like if I click on driving, I can get to know which was driven, which was done by walking, or which one was stationary. If I go to the accuracy, I can increase the accuracy and see the exact location which Prashant traveled. Now, let me go to our another app, which is ArcGIS Dashboards. Now, this is a very simple dashboard which we created for the COVID-19 quarantine center. And in here, the data is coming from Survey 123. You saw the form and you saw that we submitted some of the records. Now, if I hover over the first details, I can see the data, the bar chart dynamically changing. Let me click on the first details and I can see how many number of rooms are available, how many are the existing beds, how many can be accommodated, what are the number of males and females. Similarly, if I click on second, this bar keeps changing. Now, this is the way we can all create the ArcGIS dashboard. we have several widgets which we can integrate, or which we can use it inside of it, and configure it with more capability. Now, uh, let me talk something on licensing. So now we can see that we have used so many field application. Let me tell you that uh, collector, quick capture, survey 123, workforce, and explorer, they all come and they can be used by a user who has RGS online account, or the field worker type user. But the navigator and the tracker, those are the premium apps and need to be purchased separately. Let me go on my next slide. So now the users are more granular in terms of capability and in terms of pricing also. So now we can have at a very far left, if you see, the kind of lowest capability, which just allows people to view the GIS data within your GIS RGS organization. It gives them the name account, their name user account, so that they have the security credential to see the things in your organization, but they don't have the ability to change anything or create anything. Moving towards the right, we have got the editor, which can edit some things. They can create anything new in your RGS organization in terms of layer or items, but they can take advantage, and they can take the advantage of existing feature layer and edit some items. Next is the field worker user type. So the field worker is really most important to what we have been talking about throughout this day. Now the field worker has the ability to edit items that has already been created. Field worker can't create new items, but it can edit the items if we give them the privileges that are already been created, like editor. And this comes along with the field apps bundle. I also want to mention that Explorer, that simple viewer application, it comes along with all the user type. So now navigator and tracker, as I mentioned, it's come with an extra fee. Now let's see the road ahead. What are the plans for future? Now, definitely there are plans for enabling some of the apps for offline mode. Now, workforce especially has to be enabled for the offline mode, where already we have plans, and also improving the sign-in experience across the app. Like when there is a transition between one app to another, automatically the credential get passed. Right now, it's not there. And also achieve and maintain parity across all the supported platforms for maximum of the field app. In terms of the smart forms, there are plans to create and use smart forms with collector also, and view the smart forms in Explorer, like along all the platforms. Now, if I talk about making field operation apps easier to set up and manage, yes, there is a proposal for collector web app. And in terms of navigator for RGS, there's a plan to incorporate the live traffic and live weather data. Now there is some change which is going to come at the name level. So right now, if you saw or if you heard me speaking about each of the field labs, there were more like collector for RGIS, survey 123 for RGIS, navigator for RGS. That might change as just RGIS navigator, RGIS collector, RGIS survey 123. Now, let me summarize the session here. So we have spoken about each of the field operation capability, and we have seen the integration with the RGS platform. We have also talked about the credit consumption for almost all the field application, and on which devices are they supported, and whether they need connectivity, whether they don't need, whether they work offline or not. We have spoken about the app integration in here, which one can go well, which are some common pairing I have shown. Uh, Many of the field labs are available at no cost, which we discussed in the licensing. And some of them, they need to add user types for an additional cost. So let me now tell you about some of the coming webinars, and we will look into the QA session after this. So there is one very exciting event which is on IoT, and I would strongly recommend you to attend it by Prashant K. And there is another webinar which is on Envy for extracting the information from remotely sensed data, and that will also give you an insight about it, about how to extract the data using probably deep learning. And that is by Kiran, which is on May 27th. Now, if you see in my another slide, this is our community GeoNet. Most of you, I'm sure, must be the part of it and already participating on it. So you can drop in your ideas, you can ask questions, you can see some of the existing discussions. It is a very strong community. You may get answers very quickly in here. And let's go on our next slide, which is Learn ArcGIS. So this program is a free access to ArcGIS online and 20 plus application until August 31st, 2020. It includes ArcGIS Pro and many of the lessons through ArcGIS and ISRI Academy.